Hello, hello. This is Chucky from Collecting for Fun, and recently I got back from the Niagara Falls Comic Con, and I thought it'd be cool to share with you some of the cool signatures and autographs I was able to get from some of the cool celebrities I got to meet there. So we're gonna kind of go through everything that I got. I have a separate next video that I'll share with you the wrestlers I met, but this one I will show all the other celebrities that I met here. So here we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles poster sign. This is from the original 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. And over here we have one of the voice actor for Michelangelo. This is Robbie Wrist, and it says, "Wise men say forgiveness is divine." And I think that says, "I'm hungry." And that's Robbie Wrist's signature. And Robbie Wrist, famously says in the movies "Cowabunga, dude." But unfortunately, someone already took that, so that's why he wrote this. And Robbie Wrist was also the actor for, if you ever watched the show back in the 70s, The Brady Bunch. Very popular in his day. He played Oliver, who was the cousin that they brought in the last season. And he was telling me a story. It was quite interesting that the actress that played Sally actually injured and actually broke his face. He said by playing on the seesaws. They were jumping on it, and I guess he flew off the seesaw and then landed and cut his face. So he said in the last two episodes of that series, you can see that he's got like a band-aid in some of the scenes under his eye, and that's from that. Here we got a Cowabunga dude, and that is signed by Brian Tochi, who does the voice for Leonardo, who's the leader of the Turtles, and he wears the blue. And so yeah, so he signed that Cowabunga dude. That's why Michelangelo was there. And Brian Tochi is also very famous. Back in the 80s, anyways, most specifically for some of his character roles, he was in Police Academy, as well as Revenge of the Nerds. And I'm a huge fan of Revenge of the Nerds, so I definitely got an autograph from him for that. So I'll share that with you later. And then over here we have Donatello signed there, and that's signed by Ernie Reyes Jr. And he was in a show called Sidekicks, and he was also, you get to see him in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 because he actually plays a character in there. And here he was actually in the suit doing all the stunts. So he signed that. And then we have, here it says "Damn," and that's from Ken Scott, who played Raphael, and he was also in the suit. I think he was on stunt for the first movie and body movements and that stuff for the second movie, I believe. And so that's my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they had quite a reunion. If you didn't catch the panel, it's a good one. Unfortunately, the audio at the Niagara Falls Comic Con was not the best. So some of the actors didn't hold the mic right up to their face, and there's a lot of background noise. So unfortunately, that interfered with some of the audio quality, and I apologize, but not much I can do about it at this point. Here's the I got to meet the more one of the more recent voice actors for Scooby Doo, and that is Scott Innes right there, and he signed that right there for me. Very nice guy. He was at the booth all his booth all week long, and all weekend long, and he signed that Scooby Roar. And so that's my Scooby Doo memorabilia. I was a big fan of Scooby Doo back in the 70s. And obviously, he's not the original voice actor for Scooby, but yeah, I was happy to meet someone that did the voice for this iconic character. Over here, we have Affirmative. It's Morphin Time. This is signed by David Yost, and whose character name is Billy, and he plays the Blue Ranger. And so he was very nice. I'm not. I can't. I have to admit, I'm not the biggest Power Rangers fan. My good friend that I went with is, and I did watch a little bit of the original, so I'm glad that I got to meet him. And yeah, really cool guy. Very nice, very personable, and really spent time with his fans. So it was a very good encounter. So if you love the Power Rangers, he is definitely nice to meet. Very good. Um, Over here, old time favorite of mine from a classic show. This is here we got here ooh, Michael Gross. Okay, played the dad in the 80s show Family Ties. He played Stephen Keaton, and he also played Burt Gummer from the Tremors franchise. So he's actually in, I think, all the movies up until recently when his character, I guess, retired. And here it is from a quote from the first movie: "Broke into the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you bastard?" So that's Michael Gross's signature. Very nice guy. Very, very nice guy. Very, he had a pretty long line at certain times, but I caught him when he didn't have a long line, so we spent a little bit of time chatting. So, and yeah, very nice. Apparently, he still keeps in touch with the actress played his wife there, but unfortunately, he lost touch with the other cast members. I did ask him about that. So over here, I got let's pull that over here. This is Brian Tucci again, and this is his character Takashi. And you can see I asked him to put something funny on it, so he put down Takashi wins. If you ever watched Revenge of the Nerds, you see he's on this tricycle and he wins the race there, and he says, "I'm feeling fucking great," which is what he says there. And there's Brian Toshi and Takashi there. So that's a very fun autograph that I got from him. If you're a 90210 fan from Beverly Hills 90210, we got to meet two characters, Tori Spelling and Mike Michael Austin Green, or Brian Austin Green, I mean. And here we are. He plays David and Donna, and this is the photo they had from their wedding in the last season. There. Okay. And I thought that was a really cool picture. When I saw that they were coming, I thought, oh, I'm trying to get a picture that has both of them in it. And they had a lot of good options, but this one I thought stood out and it was nice. So another person I got to meet that was really, really cool. And he was only there for the 1 day. So that's Michael Ironside. So you can see he put his character name there for the Starship Troopers. And yeah, very, very nice gentleman. Um, and very distinctive voice, very distinctive voice. Actually, both you can see Brian in the Ninja Turtles panel I recorded, as well as David Yost. You can see his recording panel that I recorded for the Power Rangers. Nano 210, we also had the recording up. And Michael Ironside, I also have the recording up for him too. And he was pretty fun. He came in for his panel a little bit late and he just said, "I gotta pee." And he ran out of the room to go pee and then came back after to do the full panel. So it was pretty funny. Um, Here we have Ernie Reyes Jr. So that's his character Kino from Ninja Turtles 2. And you can see he's in fighting pose. And I actually watched a show that he was in when he was really, really young. I think he was maybe 10 or 11 when he recorded it. It was called Sidekicks. You can find that on YouTube. It's a pretty interesting show. He was quite a martial artist even when he was a kid. And yeah, his stunt work and martial arts is quite something to watch there. And of course, classic Tommy Chong. This is Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. I believe this is from the '70s show that I just like that piece. And yeah, really cool dude. He had a really cool panel as well. Unfortunately, his audio on his panel was horrible. Even in the show, it was hard to understand what he was saying. And again, so I apologize about the audio, but if you look at him, he hardly kept the mic near his mouth, so it was very hard to hear what he was saying, even when you're alive. So I apologize for that. But he was a really cool guy. Kept on asking, about me, and he was very interactive with his fans, even though he had a super, super long line. One of the characters I was really, or actors I really looking forward to meeting was Warwick Davis, and he was there for the whole weekend, and he was quite busy. I got him to sign two things for me. If I had, but he was charging like 150 for an autograph, so that's why I only got two things signed. Otherwise, I would have gone more. But so here it says, the sword is mine. And obviously, talking about the Gryffindor sword of Gryffindor, and there he is, Grimhook, and that's Warwick Davis's signature, and of course Wicked, his first role. And he shared with I asked him in the panel. If you watch the panel, I asked him about if he could share any stories about Carrie Fisher, and he was talking about how he would milk it when well, first of all, he found out that, because it was really hot and stuffy inside there. So when he took off the mask, Carrie Fisher was babying him because he was pretty young at the time, maybe 8, 9, or 10, or something like that. And she would baby, make sure to get Warwick some milk and cookies or some chocolate milk and cookies. And then so after a while, he started to realize if he can act that, he'll get more milk and cookies and more attention for Carrie Fisher. So that was quite a nice story that he shared there. And then also he talked about a more recent story when they before she passed, that they were doing a celebration panel of Star Wars, and I think the story was something to do with that they were reenacting some scenes that they did in Return of the Jedi. So they thought that was that he really liked that memory. And then lastly, we got Soleil Moon Fry from an 80s show called Punky Brewster. And she was a very fun guest. She gave me a big hug. She actually went to the trouble of putting all these little butterflies, I guess, around different Sharpie colors. And so that's the dad from Punky Brewster who had passed. He was also in Police Academy. That's Soleil Moon Fry as Punky Brewster, and she wrote down Punky Power there, and it says Love Always Soul Moon Fry. And I found out Soleil means sun, so her actually I guess her name means Sun Moon Fry. So that's kind of cool. So that is part one of my haul from Niagara Comic Con. I thought that if I put everything on this video, it would be a very long video. So I thought I'd try to keep it as short as possible. I hope you enjoyed that quick look at some of the cool things I was able to get signed personally at the show. And yeah, Niagara Comic Con delivered this year. I mean, a lot of good, cool guests, a lot of guests that I probably wouldn't have met otherwise. There was a couple key people that I really want to meet, but the side guests all made it worth it too. So overall, very good time there. And so look out for the next video. I'm going to review some wrestlers that I met there and also some cool autographs and memorabilia I was able to pick up at the show at good prices as well. All right, guys, this is Chucky from Collecting for Fun. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, and we will see you guys soon. Take care.